Hello everyone, it's me, Aaron, Professor Thorgy, your guide to all things geeky, and I just got home to find that the latest Nintendo Direct event just finished wrapping up, and once again, Nintendo indeed did announce a ton of new big developments, and I got done looking through all of them, and when I finished up, I just had one thing to say to Nintendo. You mother. Okay, for anybody out there who is hearing me say that, is like, why on earth are you so angry at Nintendo? I'll tell you why. It's because if you have been watching my channel, then you know that I spent the entire month of October moving in what was one of the most disastrous, horrifying moves of all time. But enough about that. But yes, so it took me an entire month to get that move done, and because of that, I'm basically a month behind on everything. So I have spent the last week trying to make up for that. I have recorded 4 new videos that I've been working on editing as we speak, and as I sat down to edit them tonight, guess what? Nintendo decided, oh no, you're not gonna do any of that. We're moving to the top of your priority list. And indeed they are at the top of my priority list because did you see all the stuff they announced? Oh my god, it's amazing! People love to criticize Nintendo for things like the lack of games that they put out and for having a console that has last gen graphics and yeah, all that stuff. But when it comes to doing a direct event, holy cow, they crush it. Seriously, PlayStation just had their big direct event over in Europe this last week. Did anybody even talk about that? There's just a bunch of trailers that we've already seen before as dudes in suits came out and was like, oh, well, I'm going to show you what happens with this thing. If you notice in this little frame, you'll see that it's an RPG game. Nobody cares, okay? Nintendo just comes out and is like, Clouds and Smash. Throw it all in your face. And this Direct needed to be big because it was the first year in which they didn't have Iwata there with them, and they proved that, hey man, Iwata had a lot of heart and he had a lot of influence in Nintendo, but we're a family. We're like the Fast and Furious gang of game developers, okay? We're all in this, okay? Even if one of us has to pass away into the next life, we're all still here holding it down. And that is exactly what they did. They announced a ton of stuff, and they didn't even talk about their next-gen console. They're like, we ain't even done with this one. The next year is still going to be jam-packed full of stuff. So yeah, get ready to dust off your Wii U's. It is not time to pack them away yet. And I've got all the stories here. It is time for us to go over them. I'm just gonna hit them up as they come along. And the first one, why am I even delaying this until the end? Why would I wait on this one? This has to be the first thing I talk about. Cloud is in Smash Bros. I am not kidding you when I say I sat down, went on YouTube, went to my subscribes page, and I had 3 videos lined up that was nothing but Clouds in Smash Bros. And the range of emotions I went through, I can't even sum it up. I'm just going to put in here that clip from Troll 2 of the kids saying, oh my god.
Oh my god!
Tasteful. Yes, that was my reaction. This is amazing because, hey, when Ryu got in there, that was amazing. But he was another fighting game character, so it was like, okay, I can see him being in there. Cloud being in there, it's like there's no more anything. No more borders, no more nothing. In fact, I'm almost angry at them for doing this because now it means that every single one of those kids out there who was like, I want Goku in Smash Bros. They now have a legitimate point. It could happen. Okay, everybody out there who's like, that's never going to happen, please stop asking for it, please just stop asking for Goku in Smash Bros. You can't say that anymore. It could happen. Who knows? Shovel Knight, Shantae, I'm even throwing Spider-Man into the mix. Anybody can show up now. I mean, damn, seriously. Do you remember when just the idea of having Mario and Sonic in a game together was mind-blowing? Remember when that was the biggest thing that you could possibly imagine ever happening in video games? I made a list. The top 10 greatest crossovers in video game. You can click on that video right there. And spoiler alert, but at number 1, I put Super Smash Bros. And the reason I put it there is because after including so many different characters, I said that it almost felt like this game wasn't just happening within Nintendo anymore. It now felt like all video games now existed in one world, and this was the fighting game for that. And now that we have Cloud in here, yeah, I stand by that more than ever. That felt like the one piece missing to kind of go all video games now in one thing. Like, Master Chief and Kratos are really the only things we're missing now to go, we have all video games covered forever. Seriously, just think about this. I know that a lot of you younger people out there, that this might not mean as much to you, but to a guy like me, who when he was a kid, it was like Nintendo is over here and Sega is over there and these other people are way in the background and they're never going to be seen in any of these things together. I don't know why I was Midwestern when I was a kid. But for a guy like me, who grew up in that mindset, the fact that there is now a fighting game that has Mario, Sonic, Pac-Man, Mega Man, Ryu, and now Cloud in it, that's amazing to me. And all I can say is that you can have 8 fighters on the screen at once in this video game. I just named 6 people from different companies and franchises. There's 2 more slots left available. What are you going to announce, Nintendo? How greedy is that? I just got Cloud, I'm already like, yeah, but what's the next thing? No, wait, what's the next 2 things? Come on, Nintendo! But yeah, one of the reasons why Smash Bros. Is one of my favorite fighting games of all time is because of the care that they take with every single character. They look at every single one of these characters and every single one of the games that they've been in, and they prove that they are a bunch of geeks working on this because they're like, no, I know exactly which move from which game and how it should be interpreted into this fighting game. And looking at what they're doing with Cloud, it's exactly the same. They're doing that too. They are putting in here everything. Like the fact that he can actually activate his limit break, and that's not even his big smash. He just activates his limit break, and he just becomes more powerful in the middle of the battle, and he can keep doing it. That's amazing to me. Also, favorite part of that entire trailer was when he just devoed Wario's bike. He just went, it's my bike now, punk, and just stole it and walked off. That was awesome. But his big final smash is the Omni Slash. Ah! Okay, sorry, I'm too excited for words here. That's so cool. But I love, absolutely love, this topped it all for me. This took the cake, was the fact that there will be a Final Fantasy VII stage and the summons just show up out of nowhere. Like, it looked to me like you don't have to activate them in any way, shape, or form. It looked like they will just be there. It's kind of like the Pokemon in the big Pokemon stages, in which they just show up and do area effects. Bahamut is going to show up and take out half the stage, just out of nowhere. That looks like it will instantly be the most fun stage to play on. I cannot wait for this. And that isn't even the end of the Smash Bros. Fun, because they announced that in December they're going to have another Nintendo Direct event that is just for Smash Bros. You know that's going to be them announcing the winners of that poll that they set up. And oh man, I cannot wait to see who wins. Fingers crossed for Shovel Knight. By the way, for everybody who commented on that top 10 characters I want to see voted in the Smash Bros. Video and said, oh, you can't have Shovel Knight because he's not a Nintendo-owned character. Cloud mother, Cloud's in the game. No more rules. But okay, I'm now just going to run down the rest of these stories, just rapid fire here. First off, Legend of Zelda game is coming to the Wii U 2016. We already knew that. Star Fox, it now has an official release date in April. That's about when we figured it was going to be coming out. Okay, no big deal. This I would like to call the biggest you of this thing, which was that Mother 3 is getting a Wii U re-release only in Japan. What is wrong? Why do you hate us when it comes to Mother? Seriously, why do you think that only you can hold on to Mother 3? Do you not think that the rest of the world is ready for that? We're ready for weird craziness. We've already translated that game ourselves. Do you know what bank you would make if you just gave it to us? Guys, come on here. I mean, I know I was praising you a second ago, but it's small things like this that just irk me. But moving on. Although you guys do know how to make some bank because there is a new Amiibo set coming in January, so yeah, you guys know that's where your money's at right now. Although I will say, this is one of the reasons why I love Nintendo so much. Free DLC. Splatoon getting more free DLC. It gets free DLC at all times. And then Zelda Triforce Heroes, that just came out, and you're already giving it free DLC. Way to go for you guys, good for you. There's also a new free to start game, which means that if it's addictive enough, you're going to spend all your money on. A new game coming out in December called Pokemon Picross. Now you guys out there, if you've watched my channel, you know that I love me some Pokemon. And this is going to be a Pokemon puzzle game. Puzzle games are fun. I do enjoy puzzle games. So a free puzzle game themed around Pokemon, I can dig it. I can get behind that. But that is not the big Pokemon news that they announced. The big news is that Red, Blue, and Yellow are all being re-released on the 3DS. Oh, this is perfect. Because for the longest time I've heard people say, well, you know, I started Pokemon late, so I was not able to play the first games. Even the re-releases of Fire Red and Leaf Green that they put out, I was not able to play those. So I wish that they would remake that game in the same way that they remade Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. And guys, I feel for you. If you were not able to play those first games, I do feel for you, but it's gonna take a lot of effort to remake that, especially with all these brand new graphics that they have. And every time that they have to remake a game, it delays the next game that we're going to get. I mean, they didn't even announce Pokemon Z at this thing, which makes me wonder how far off the next generation is going to be. So yeah, I've always been kind of torn on this issue. On the one hand, I want you guys to have that experience. On the other hand, I don't want them to take up the time having to remake the game. If only there was a compromise. Oh, I know. How about they just give us the game as it is already, as a downloadable game in the eShop? Oh my gosh, that's what they're doing! Perfect. Way to go, Nintendo. Way to listen to the fans and give us what we've all been asking for. This is wonderful. And I've been hearing a lot of people who are super excited about this because it's like, oh my gosh, you don't have to use link cables anymore. No you don't have to use link. Did you guys think that they were going to make a brand new 3DS that could jam a link cable into it? Of course it was going to be digital and you could transfer them wirelessly. Of course that's how it was going to be. Here's my question though. The Pokemon Bank. Like when I go in there and I get my Bulbasaur again, because Bulbasaur is my boy, when I get my Bulbasaur again, am I going to be able just to deposit him into the bank and then I can pull him back out into my Omega Ruby game? Can I do that? I haven't heard anybody say anything about the Pokemon Bank, whether or not that can hook up with this, so that's still what I'm waiting on, but at the same time, even if you can't, I'm glad I can play the game again. I'm glad that new players can play it. Speaking of remakes, Dragon Quest VII and Dragon Quest VIII are coming to the 3DS in the West. That is wonderful. I can't wait to play those. But I cannot really wait to play the new Fire Emblem Fates. I love that last Fire Emblem game. That was the first Fire Emblem game that I ever played. And I got hooked on it. Like, I wanted to go back and replay all the old Fire Emblem games. It was so much fun. So I can't wait for this one. It's going to have 2 different versions, and one of them will be an $80 special edition version. I'm not gonna lie, I normally don't go for the special edition versions, but I love that last one so much I might have to do it. Also because I'm really stupid with my money. Alright, and the last 2 things I want to talk about is that Twilight Princess HD is going to be coming to the Wii U, and it is going to have a new Amiibo figure, which is Wolf Link with Midna riding him. This thing looks huge. Like, the little cliff that Wolf Link is staying on is actually jutting out over the edge of the Amiibo thing. I would not be shocked if this is like a $20 Amiibo, which I will buy, because I am stupid with money. Seriously, I don't even know if it's going to do anything, but I want that. It looks so cool. And speaking of Amiibo news, they're going to make a gold Mega Man Amiibo for the new Mega Man Legacy Collection, which contains Mega Man numbers 1 through 6. And if you're a Mega Man fan, then congrats, you get more Mega Man. Listen, I suck at Mega Man. I suck so hard at Mega Man. I literally was that guy who could get like 1 boss defeated, and then that was it. But at the same time, Capcom isn't giving you squat. So if Nintendo wants to come in and grab the ball they fumble, well then hey, good for you Mega Man fans. I'm glad someone cares about your franchise. And the last story I want to cover is that they made more announcements about the upcoming Hyrule Warriors 3DS launch, which is that it will have even more characters than we thought it would, including, and I almost couldn't believe that they did this because it's so awesome. They announced that there will be a female version of Link called Linkle. This is brilliant to me. This is so brilliant to me, and I will tell you why. Legend of Zelda is one of those game franchises out there that has always had a very large female fan base. I mean, pretty much every time that I talk to a female gamer and I ask them, what kind of games do you enjoy? About 9 times out of 10, I'm not even exaggerating on that, about 9 times out of 10, Legend of Zelda comes up in conversation. So I've always pushed for more focus on Zelda and less focus on Link. I would love for her to get her own game in which she's going out there and kicking ass on her own, but this is the next best thing. Link must be the protagonist of the Legend of Zelda franchise. That seems like it's set in stone, so they're just gonna make Link a girl. That's brilliant. I love that. I think that is so smart on their part, because this to me is a symbol of Nintendo finally going, no, we're listening to our fan base. We realize who's buying our games, and we're going to make the games for them. So yes, Legend of Zelda is one of those franchises that reaches out to everybody, men and women pretty much equally. So now, hey, you can play as a man or a woman equally. Okay, that is it. That is all the stories from the Nintendo Direct event. I have to go and get back to editing all those other videos that I told you I have recorded. So let me know in the comments down below, what did you think of this Direct event? What story were you most excited about? It's going to be Cloud, isn't it? You're all excited about Cloud. What story after that were you most excited about? And what would you like to see them announce at the upcoming Super Smash Bros. Nintendo Direct event in December? Let me know all that in the comments down below. And if you want to see more stuff about me from the world of geekery, whether it be video games, comic books, or movies, then make sure that you hit that subscribe button and click on the links at the end of this video to watch some other videos by me. Thank you guys, and tune in next time. Oh my gosh, I have no voice left. I've recorded 4 episodes in the last 2 days. Oh my god, I'm just gonna crawl away and get some water. Bye. And this fall, you're going to have the opportunity to make your voice heard. You're going to have an important decision to make. A decision that's going to end up affecting the lives of you and everyone around you for years to come. So it's important that you make an informed decision. The presidency? Oh god, no, that's next year and it's way more depressing. No, I ain't talking about the presidency. I'm talking about Smash, baby! Speaking of things fans wanted, the idea of all the Final Fantasy characters crossing over was one of those things that fans of the series wanted, but they knew in their hearts would never happen. That is, until it did. I've been looking forward to Pokémon for a long time, and it has finally started showing up in arcades in America. One of them popped up at the Dave & Buster's nearby me, so I got a chance to go and play it, and after several quarters later, I am now ready to do my review of it.